Hey, what's up? Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Hi, happy Monday, happy Veterans Day. Let me know. Audio good, visual good. Kind of just popped on here. I hope everyone's doing well. Yes, I see so many cool people in here. I saw my traveling gypsy tarot, Debbie, Montaigne. I hope I'm saying that right. Galacticness. Thanks for being here. Cole. Hey, Sam. What's up, Sam Unstoppable? Thanks. Thank you. Hi. Hi, Gypsy. Thanks for being here. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Diddy. I know everyone's Diddy'd out, but hi, Chicken Nugget. You found me. Oh no, Chicken Nugget. We love Chicken Nugget here. Kiss my axe. Hey, what's up? Yeah, okay, so we're going to be covering the new Diddy information. I know there's so many things I want to talk about, so I'm going to have to do another live on Delphi if you haven't been following the Delphi case. And there's a ton more. I'm going to start having some cool guests up here. There's a lot. There's a lot. Make a live and it's Diddy. Cool. I'm sorry. I know you're over it. But, you know, at least my channel, we do cover a lot of the Diddy stuff, but we cover mainly the legal documents. So hi, welcome to my channel. I am Melly. We cover everything mental health, true crime, real life, all of the above. So I will be reading. The topic is Diddy. There's a woman by the name of Audrea who has filed a lawsuit against him with, you know, everything going on in his situation. This lawsuit was filed on July 3rd, 2024. And she's just now has done like a live interview, which we're going to be covering. But before we watch the video, I wanted to read through the lawsuit because I feel like we should know the truth, right? Like what the court is seeing, what the lawyers are seeing, what the judge is seeing, all of the above. Chicken Nugget, I've caught a couple lies in the bush. Yay, Chicken Nugget. Yay. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Yes, we're a small channel. We're growing. It's it's like a little channel. We're getting there. But like I said, we cover all the legal documents that I can get my hands on. And today we're going to cover the Adria English lawsuit. It was filed, like I said, July 3rd, and she has just recently come out with very controversial interview that we're going to watch. I do want to say trigger warning. This does involve highly graphic information of the sexual nature, including SA, all of the above, if you've been following the Diddy stuff. Hey, Gas Mask. Hi, love. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. We're almost to 1K. Yes. I know. I'm so happy about that. So I appreciate all the support, all the views, all the likes. Make sure you support your girl. I have some really cool stuff coming up. I want to have my friend Gypsy Tarot up here, some of my personal friends. I have a very great creator coming up, which I'm very excited about. It just got kind of set in stone today. So a good friend, someone you guys are all well aware of, and he's going to be coming on. We're going to be doing a show about what he has to talk about. So I don't want to say too much, but it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. I promise. Yes, please hit the like button and subscribe. Hi, my beautiful Brit. I'm glad you made it. I know I'm all over the place with like scheduling. I don't have like a set time yet, but because I do stuff during the day. So, you know, we'll figure it out. But nonetheless, you can always catch the replay and that's it. right? The support means everything. So let's get started. Adria English, who recently did an interview with Lionel B, which we'll be watching, has claimed, she has been a victim of all the Diddy stuff. If you don't know, he has been charged with trafficking, SA, abuse, abusing littles, all of the above. And so I think we need to read this document and go through it, and then you can make your own assumption as you watch those interviews. Adria English filed on July 3rd, 2024. She filed this against Sean Combs and his companies, Tamiko Thomas, Jacob the Jeweler. So if you're familiar with the Diddy case, he's been a big part of it. And Vibe, the magazine. And there's John and Jane Doe's. Hey, Stephanie. I'm glad you made it, my friend. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, Britt. I'm glad you made it. Hey, Snuggle, good to see you. Thanks for being here, Snuggle. Okay, so if you see me skipping through things, it's basically just, like the codes and all of that for the judicial system. So I just want to hit on the main facts. It's a very long document, but if you haven't caught my lives before, we read through these things pretty fast. So preliminary statement, let's get started. On November 16, 2023, Cassandra Ventura filed a 35-page lawsuit in which she exposed defendant Combs of subjecting her to nearly a decade of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, punctuated by RAPE, sex trafficking, and being forced to engage in a drug-fueled, non-consensual sexual encounters with other men. Ordinarily, when a lawsuit such as Ms. Ventura's is filed that involves events that took place a long time ago, witnesses are few and far in between, and evidence is hard to muster. Not so for the claims brought against defendant Combs. Within minutes of the filing, Ms. Ventura's claims were confirmed by various witnesses, including a rival musician whose car defendant Combs blew up. We know that's Kid Cudi, very allegedly. Various individuals who observed defendant Combs beat Ms. Ventura, and a video released by CNN just a few weeks ago showing the defendant Combs physically abusing, battering, and assaulting Ms. Ventura. Since Ms. Ventura's brave decision to file a lawsuit against defendant Combs has accumulated numerous lawsuits across the country for the same conduct. Days later, more lawsuits were filed against defendant Combs, one being plaintiff Joy Dickerson, alleged that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her when she was a college student. The other lawsuit, currently being appropriately refiled in New Jersey, accused Mr. Combs and the singer Aaron Hall of forcing the plaintiff and another unidentified woman into non-consensual sex. So if you are not caught up on the most recent stuff, make sure you watch my last Diddy live. I will be putting them in a playlist, but we are caught up on the documents. I just wanted to review the Adria English because I hadn't reviewed it and I had my hands on it, and because she's coming out with all these allegations that are playing into the case. And although I was never like a Diddy fan, and I'm not, but I did used to like Tupac, Biggie, Aaliyah, if you're from the 90s, and he had a lot to do with all of those celebrities. Gracie, you made it. Hi, my love. Thank you for being here. Let's move on. At the same time, a fourth lawsuit was filed against defendant Combs Companies and defendant 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗲, the longtime president of Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Inc. The suit alleged that Mr. Pierre used his position of power at Bad Boy to groom and sexually assault his former assistant, and that Bad Boy looked the other way at the time. The fifth lawsuit against defendant Combs includes allegations brought by a Doe plaintiff are just as egregious, and then brought by his prior victims, including plaintiff Doe, who was sex trafficked, and gang RAPED by defendant Combs and various other individuals. So they're just giving like a highlight of the lawsuits we've already covered. A sixth lawsuit was filed against defendant Combs and various other defendants by Ronnie Jones, including SA, sex work, drugs, ongoing criminal enterprise, and corrupt organization. A seventh lawsuit was filed against defendant Combs and his son Christian Combs by plaintiff Grace. Plaintiff in that suit alleged she was also assaulted and physically harmed by the actions of this man. An eighth lawsuit was filed against defendant Combs by model plaintiff Crystal, who alleged she was also assaulted by defendant Combs. So the ninth lawsuit was by April Lamprose, which we did cover here. So if you missed that, go back and watch it. She claims the same: distress, violation of gender motivated violence, protection of the law. And then prior to any of the cases above, defendant Combs was named as a defendant in a sexual assault lawsuit in Florida involving singer Tremaine Neverson. 𝗟𝗏. And here's a picture of 𝗟𝗏. Defendant Combs was also implicated in a lawsuit filed in California against R&B singer Chris Brown for sexual assault that took place on a yacht anchored at the defendant Combs' Star Island estate in Miami, Florida. Snuggle says, have you watched the Jaguar? Yes, we have definitely watched Jaguar, right? Not on my channel, but I have personally followed her. I believe her, a lot of what she says. And I think that interview where, what's his name? Oh my gosh. Where, you know, he got shut down and had to like take it down, Beyonce and Jay-Z. I think the fact she didn't get sued speaks a lot yet, because he went after the network, but not after her. Maybe she knows too much and what she's saying is real. I don't know. You guys make your own opinion. Let me know what you guys think about Jaguar Rep. Let's move on. Chris Brown was also referenced in the lawsuit between plaintiff Ronnie Jones and the defendant Combs, implicating Mr. Brown was in Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home, consorting with underage girls and sex workers. And here he is in the picture, if you can see. This is now the 10th lawsuit filed against defendant Combs since November 16, 2023, just as the allegations brought by other 9 plaintiffs. Plaintiff English's claims are just as egregious. Due to the numerous lawsuits filed against Combs alleging the same or similar acts, there is now growing awareness that Combs was engaging in far more sinister acts than previously known, including physical abuse and sex trafficking. So I'm going to... Additionally, because of defendant Combs' relationship with defendant 𝗵 magazine, that's who's named in here, due to their conspiracy in sex trafficking enterprise, is that a magazine or a network? Sorry. Due to the conspiracy in the sex trafficking enterprise, defendants knew they could publish plaintiff's likeliness without her consent and feared recourse and chose plaintiff's likeness to use without permission in an effort to continue the defendant's sex trafficking enterprise for their financial benefit. Plaintiff can support her allegations with this complaint and has lived her adult life with memories of being trapped in a cycle of sex trafficking she never asked to be a part of, and was chosen because defendant Combs knew he could groom her. For years, plaintiff Audrea English has been affected by the defendant's actions and has suffered extreme emotional distress, impacting nearly every aspect of plaintiff's life and personal relationships. Given all the brave individuals who have come forward, against defendant Combs, plaintiff is doing the same. Jojo, my beautiful friend, thank you for being here. Snuggle says if it was not true, she would be getting sued. Exactly my point. And now I'm curious, will he file counter-sue against Adria English for all the allegations? We're going to play the interview. I do want to make sure I meet copyright laws, so we're going to be talking in between the lawsuit and the video. Let's move on. I'm not going to go through the jurisdiction venue stuff. We don't want to hear about that. We know, you know, that they're going to have court. Let me get to the good parts. I mean, they're all good, but let me get to the parts I'm going to read. Procedural requirements. So the NYC Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act created a look-back window on March 1st, which runs for 2 years for survivors of gender-motivated violence, allowing them to sue their abusers. So these are all the laws that are applying. Okay, here we go. Parties. Defendant Sean Combs. Here we see him with beautiful 𝗂𝗄𝗄. Defendant Combs retained residence in both California and Florida, and upon information and belief is a citizen of the state of California. At all relevant times, Combs was a citizen and resident of the state of New York. We know who he is, so we're not gonna touch on that. We're gonna get through all the, you know, he owns millions and blah blah blah. We already know. Defendant Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings Inc. Licensed corporation in New York. Yay, Snuggles! Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. We're doing some cool, fun members only stuff here soon. I'm gonna bring up some friends, other creators. So I'm glad you became a member so you can hop in. Yay! Thanks for being here, AZ. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so Sean John Clothing, as you can see, is also one of the defendants. Combs Global. And then defendant, wait, did I skip something? Oh yeah. Do you guys see that picture at the bottom? It says defendant Tamiko Thomas. Defendant Thomas, upon information and belief, is a citizen of the state of New York. Defendant Thomas, upon information and belief, was an employee of the defendant BBE at all relevant times. Defendant Thomas, in her employment capacity, was responsible for transporting and making payments to individuals like the plaintiff in furtherance of a corrupt organization of sex trafficking on behalf of defendant Combs and the beneficiaries of the corrupt organization, including defendant 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 and PMC. Here you see Jacob the jeweler. Oh, let me switch the page. Hello. You're like, we can't see that. Here's Jacob the jeweler. I kind of want to do a live on him. There's a lot of information. We'll see. We'll see how deep I can dive into that. Upon information and belief, defendant Jacob at all relevant times was a resident of the state of New York. Defendant Jacob was also a citizen of the state of New York, and he was born in Uzbekistan. Defendant Jacob was a beneficiary of the corrupt organization ran by defendant Combs, 𝗏, PMC, Thomas, with the plaintiff above when he knowingly had intercourse with plaintiff who was trafficked for that specific purpose. Trigger warning. So yes, and the interview we're going to see here shortly, she does claim all of this. She's claiming in this lawsuit that Jacob the jeweler essayed her, which is major. He has the money, the power, the rights to come after her. So I feel like if she was lying, we should see something soon, right? I got this man on docket on like 411. I'm like, hello, what's up? Is there a new document released today of Sean Combs? It's wild. Snuggle says, I first met you in 𝗍𝗶𝗸𝗲 and Pascal. Oh, it goes back to Snuggles. Okay. Snuggles, I'm impressed that you know me from so far long ago. Okay. That's a while. That's a while. I appreciate you for being here. Defendant Jacob in 2008 was sentenced to 2.5 years in federal prison regarding a multi-state drug ring and was fined $50,000 and had to forfeit $2 million to the U.S. government. Prior to being in prison, defendant Jacob frequented parties thrown by Combs and BBE where he knowingly participated in the illegal commodification of women via sex trafficking. Thank you, Galactus, for being here. I appreciate you. Upon information and belief, defendant Jacob still runs a business, Jacob & Co., which is licensed in New York, and then they give the address. This document is public, so I'm not here to dox anyone. We're not about that. My channel is all good vibes. None of that stuff. We don't allow that here. Just good energy, no bullies, no doxing. These are legal documents you can get through the New York court. Defendant Vibe Magazine. And this is a magazine where I guess some information comes up. Upon information and belief, defendant Vibe runs a magazine licensed to do business in New York. Defendant Vibe has an ongoing relationship with Combs, and all of the defendant's enterprises include BBE, SJC, and CGE, and was corrupt and exploitive to plaintiff and to benefit defendant Vibe and other members of the corrupt organization. Defendant Vibe's ongoing beneficial relationship with Combs dates back as far as 1993. So if you've been following the Diddy case, you know this has been going on for quite some time. Defendant Vibe further injured plaintiff in an effort to further the corrupt organization when it published plaintiff's picture in the issue pictured above without plaintiff's notice or consent, written or otherwise. Defendant Penske Media Corporation. So PMC is the owner and parent company of defendant Vibe. Upon information and belief, PMC is a Delaware corporation with its headquarters in California, does business in New York through ownership of defendant, and its distribution of several media outlets are distributed Let's move on. Upon information and belief, plaintiff alleges that defendants does 1 through 10, inclusive, are other parties not yet identified who have violated plaintiff by sex trafficking or conspired and or aided and abetted the defendant in sex trafficking, the plaintiff through participation and in a corrupt organization that contributed to the plaintiff being sex trafficked or having engaged in one or more of the wrongful practices alleged herein. The true names, whether corporate, individual, or otherwise, of defendants 1 through 10 inclusive are presently unknown to plaintiff, which therefore sues said defendants by such fictitious names and will seek leave to amend this complaint to show their true names and capacities when same have been ascertained. Upon information and belief, plaintiff believes all defendant does 1 through 10 are citizens of New York and Florida. Upon information and belief, plaintiff believes and thereon alleges that at all times relevant here to each of the defendant organizational does 1 through 10 were the agent, affiliate, officer, director, manager, principal, alter ego, and or employee of Diddy, and was at all times acting within the scope of such an agency, affiliation, alter ego relationship, and or employment, and actively participated in or subsequently ratified and adopted, or both, each and all of the acts or conducted alleged with full knowledge of all facts and circumstances, including but not limited to full knowledge of each and every violations of plaintiff's rights and the damages to plaintiff proximately caused thereby. I'm going to skip the next part so we can get to who is filing this lawsuit right here. Plaintiff Audrea English. You can see her in my thumbnail. Yeah, I appreciate you guys all for being here. Chicken Nugget, you leaving? Millie, I gotta go jump in the air fryer, see you in the streets. You're funny. All right, Chicken Nugget, thanks for being here. Snuggle says, yes, 𝗏 is for space. I love your personality and so passionate about the victims. I love your vibe. So glad I'm here. Thank you, Snuggle. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here too. Really, truly. Plaintiff is an individual who is a citizen of the United States and resident of California at all times relevant to the action. She resided in state of New York. She participated in as actor in the adult film industry under the name 𝗟𝗡. So it states here she was an adult film industry worker under the name 𝗟𝗡. Plaintiff participated in approximately 8 adult films prior to moving to New York, which were done while plaintiff was a teenager. Plaintiff was coerced by veteran PORN, rhymes with corn, star Jake Steed into doing these films with the promise they would never be viewed or circulated within the United States. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can show the next page. It shows nudity. It shows the cover of... Hey, Kim. Hi, Kim. I'm so glad you made it. Hi, love. Wait, this was filed July 3rd. Yes. So she filed this in July. Diddy got arrested in September, and now she's out here speaking all kinds of allegations, which we're going to cover here in the interview. So I feel like he saw that coming. I don't know. What do you think, Kim? Okay, I'm going to, if I have to edit this part out, I will. If YouTube asks me to, I'm going to skim through it. So you guys are going to see some butts. I don't know if you want to see that. So I'm just going to skim through it hella quick. I'm not trying to, I guess this is public. I don't know. I don't know if I should even show this, but let's move on. I'll skip the pages. You guys can see there. Plaintiff moved to New York from California to evade the disappointment of her family when they discovered she was acting in adult movies, as plaintiff was led to believe the adult movies would only be seen and purchased abroad, therefore difficult to be viewed by those who knew her personally. Plaintiff moved to New York destitute and homeless with her then boyfriend, starving up and coming model Anthony Gallo. Kim says, yes, thank you, Galactus. 18 plus disclaimer. Absolutely. Kim says, so she filed this before Diddy got off. There's a lot of truth to stuff she's saying. I feel it. Kim, I agree. I know you've been following this. I know you know. Why lie if you can get in trouble and have to do time for lying? Defamation, all of those things come into play, right? Would she be lying if she didn't have proof? Maybe it'll come out in trial. I don't know. I just think if I was making some stuff up and knew I might have to do jail time, I don't know that I would be doing it. Maybe people think differently. What's up, Fatty? Fatty in the house. If you guys don't follow Fatty, make sure you follow Fatty. Great channel. Great vibes. So much fun over there. I do mod for him over there, so it gets fun over there. So come and support Fatty. Please. Fatty, I appreciate you for becoming a member and being here. Truly. I do. It's good to see you, Fatty. Snuggle says, I truly believe her. My traveling tro says, no, she has proof. I agree. I agree. Yes, follow. I will link. I'll link the channel. Let me get it pulled up real quick. We are supportive people here, and you guys know. If you know me from the YouTubes and modding, I feel like I need to do a members live. Like, hold on, pause. Let's have a moment. I feel like I need to do a members live on like Melly's. We need to do like a catch up. We need to do a catch up. And you gifted. Fatty. Fatty, you're amazing, Fatty. Thank you. I appreciate you. I just linked the channel. Go sub. Go sub it to Fatty. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of conversations on his channel that I am open to talking about. I like to talk about real life stuff. You know what I mean? And situations. So here's a picture of her and this man. While plaintiff's then boyfriend auditioned for modeling gigs and attended go-sees in New York, plaintiff began go-go dancing and performing at Larry Flynt's Hustler Club on 51st Street. On or about mid-2004, Mr. Gallo attended an audition for Sean John modeling campaign in New York, where the plaintiff accompanied him. During that audition, another model and Mr. Gallo were asked to perform fellatio on the defendant Combs in order to book the modeling campaign. Oof. Who became a member? Kim Watts! Yay! Yay, I'm glad you got it, Kim. Mr. Gallo refused, but was later reapproached by employee defendant Thomas, offering new terms. Terms being that Mr. Gallo could still book the Sean John campaign if he accompanied the plaintiff to work, defendant Combs, and BBE's upcoming white party. In the Hamptons, as a go-go dancer, as plaintiff was a well-known, talented, and highly sought-after dancer at Larry Flynt's Hustler Club. In effort to assist Mr. Gallo's desire to become a model, plaintiff agreed to what she believed to be a legitimate employment with the defendant Combs and BBE as entertainment at the white parties in the Hamptons, New York, and Miami, Florida, from 2004 to 2009. Plaintiff did not agree to a lifetime of aftermath of being used as a sexual pawn for the pleasure and financial benefit of others. Factual allegations. Here we go. Oh, let me turn the page for you guys. I was not here. Fatty. Fatty knows I'm well behaved. Factual allegations. Plaintiff's employee and defendant Combs' Labor Day quote-unquote white party. As agreed to between Mr. Gallo, defendant Thomas, and defendant Combs, SJC, and BBE, plaintiff began her employment at the ultra-exclusive and lavish Labor Day parties thrown by defendant Combs and BBE called the White Party, and Mr. Gallo began his employment as a Sean John model. And there's a picture of him being a model. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, hold on. I need to see what you guys are saying. Yay! Thank you. Thank you, traveling tro. I already read that one. Thank you, Fatty. Crazy, I just got in here. I think it's true. I hope they get everyone, not like it. Right. Plaintiff's first employment at a white party was the summer of 2004. Trigger warning. Oh, dang. Plaintiff was Plaintiff believed this to be a legitimate employment opportunity. Plaintiff was picked up by the defendant Thomas in a car driven by one of the defendant does owned by either defendant Combs and organizational doe and transported to defendant Combs' estate in Hamptons, New York, which served as the venue for the Labor Day White Party. When plaintiff arrived at Combs' Hamptons estate with defendant Thomas and other sex trafficked individuals, defendant Thomas brought them into a room where they changed into clothes provided to them. Plaintiff's outfit in the above picture was provided to her as a uniform, as she was led to believe she was in an employment capacity, and plaintiff was required to wear the clothing provided as part of her employment. Plaintiff Audrea English was also provided a separate room from the party away from where the partygoers congregated that was used by plaintiff and other employees as a break room to take respite during the party, as plaintiff was there in an employment capacity. Plaintiff was encouraged directly by defendant Thomas to provide lap dances and be sexually flirtatious with the guest at the white party. Plaintiff was also instructed and directed by defendant Combs as to which guests plaintiffs should focus attention and interaction with to ensure his guests were having a great time. Plaintiff was strictly instructed by Diddy and Thomas on which bottles of alcohol and champagne female employees were to exclusively drink from, and also required plaintiff to take narcotics offered by a white party guest. Wow. Yes, what did I miss? So yeah, like Kim said, this was filed in July and he didn't get arrested, I think, until September. So she didn't know he was going to get arrested. This came out on July 3rd, literally July 3rd, filed in the New York court system. Plaintiff, despite being forced to drink copious amounts of alcohol and consume illicit narcotics, the encounters plaintiff was forced to endure were so excruciating that plaintiff remembers them as they still haunt her to this day. Plaintiff was forced to consume liquor and illicit narcotics as part of her employment at the white party. Upon information and belief, defendant Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy, which is why plaintiff was provided such strict rules on which bottles to consume from. Plaintiff performed to the expectations of defendant Combs was personally thanked her for the obedience by defendant Combs and was subsequently invited for future employment at white parties. Plaintiff was paid in cash at the end of the night, typically between 4 to 6 a.m. once the party had concluded. Plaintiff was paid by defendant Thomas, who was given the money from Diddy. The first white party in 2004 had no sinister intent or requirements for physical sexual contact and seemed to be a legitimate employment opportunity. So when plaintiff Adria English was offered employment in the preceding years at Labor Day White Party, she accepted the employment opportunity. Plaintiff was employed as entertainment at subsequent white parties in Hamptons, New York. She was also transported to the Hamptons by way of car service provided by either Sean Combs, BBE, SJC, CJE, or organizational does, with a driver who was also an employee of either Combs or any organization, with defendant Thomas also being present as liaison and coordinator between employees and defendant Combs. Audrea would use numbers to provide contact, either or both. Defendant Combs and Thomas arranged transportation to the white parties. This included using the telephone and text messaging services to confirm the date, time, and location of pickup. Defendant Thomas would then arrive at the location provided by the plaintiff at the agreed date and time in a chauffeur-driven vehicle provided or under the control of defendant Combs, which would include Thomas and a member of defendant Combs' security team and other employees who were hired as entertainment for the party. Kim says these stories are very consistent with the other people who filed the lawsuit, right? And the fact that she filed this before all of them. Yeah. She's truthful of all that. We're going to watch that interview right now. She was on another creator's channels first. She did. Yes, we're going to watch one of them right now. Yes. Yes, Jojo. Plaintiff was also provided wardrobe by defendant Thomas and Combs and was also provided a break room while attending the white parties. Defendant Thomas and Combs groomed the plaintiff into sex trafficking over time. Around the third white party, defendant Thomas and Combs demanded plaintiff begin engaging in vaginal sexual intercourse with guests as they had learned about her past in adult entertainment and used it forcefully to coerce plaintiff into sex work for the benefit of defendant Thomas and Combs and their beneficiaries. During the white party, plaintiff was provided a black dress to wear by defendant Combs and Thomas. Previously, plaintiff was provided white clothing like other guests and the theme of the party. She does talk about this, I think, in the interview we're going to watch. Upon information and belief, plaintiff believed she was required to wear a black dress to the white party to denote her capacity there as an employee, but more sinisterly as a sex trafficked worker. One beneficiary's defendant, Jacob the jeweler, who plaintiff was demanded by defendant Combs to engage in intercourse during a white party. Plaintiff, fearing not only her safety, but her and her then boyfriend's job security, did as instructed and went with defendant Jacob, where she engaged in forced intercourse at the demand and behest of Diddy. Plaintiff knew refusing Combs' demands was not an option, and to do so would be at her and Mr. Gallo's detriment. Yes, that's right, Kim. For the people in the back of the room, LOL, she filed first. I agree, Snuggle. She's truthful. All the interviews are the same. And like I said earlier, why would you lie if you know you could have to do jail time? Like, I don't want to do jail time for lying. You know what I mean? So why would she throw out all these allegations in a federal case where defamation can play a big role, right? If we want to talk about into the legality of it. So I feel like she's not lying, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. We're just reading the legal document filed by the state of New York, and we're going to be reviewing that interview. So here's a picture of them. Plaintiff was, this is her and her boyfriend. He worked for Diddy, clearly. Plaintiff was coerced by defendant Combs into consuming copious amounts of alleged laced alcohol prior to being coerced and forced into having sexual intercourse with defendant Jacob the jeweler. Plaintiff is pictured with Jacob. Oh, I'm sorry. This was not her boyfriend. This was Jacob. Plaintiff is pictured with I have to go back in that other picture. He doesn't look the same. Plaintiff is pictured with defendant Jacob after the assault, as plaintiff was still in her role employment at the white party. Let me go back. Her ex-boyfriend looks kind of like him. Or maybe that was Jacob the jeweler. Wow. That's Jacob the jeweler on the screen. No, that's, I think, her boyfriend. I'm sorry. That's her boyfriend. And then this is Jacob the jeweler right here. So this is her boyfriend who worked with Combs right here. And then this is Jacob the jeweler right here. She has a lot of pictures. She's wearing a black dress. Mo! Hi, Mo. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, love. Kim, I was just saying thank you for catching me up. Yep. Many people have a problem with elite. So, yeah, she got it right on it. Yeah. Yeah, she was 𝗟𝗄𝗃𝗲. Plaintiff received an additional $1,000 in cash on top of what she received as payment at the two prior white parties from defendant Thomas at the end of the night. At the end of the night, defendant Combs personally congratulated plaintiff for following his directives with defendant Jacob and for a job well done. Plaintiff has personally witnessed Diddy, Thomas, and Jacob solicit and ingest narcotics and engage in illicit sex acts. Plaintiff was also employed at the white parties that commenced at defendant Combs' Miami Star Island residence. During these white parties' employments, plaintiff's travel was arranged by Thomas. Upon arrival at Fort Lauderdale Airport, a car service owned and operated by either Combs or organizational does would retrieve plaintiff, defendant Thomas, and the other individuals from the airport and transport them to defendant Combs' residence on Star Island. This is wild. Defendant Thomas was to defendant Combs as Ghislaine Maxwell was to Jeffrey. I don't know. I think that name is like a big no-no on YouTube, but Jeffrey Epstein? It's real life and it's in legal documents. I don't know why YouTube would flag that shit, but anyways, moving on. Without defendant Thomas, a woman using her inherent goodwill as a woman to gain the trust of another woman, coordinating and acting as an avatar for the defendant Combs would be unable to execute his corrupt sex trafficking organization. Plaintiff is unable to recall details from the Miami white parties due to the increased demand that plaintiff engage in illicit narcotics and alcohol use while employed. Defendant Thomas and Sean Combs passed off plaintiff to other defendants outside of defendant Jacob the jeweler to be sexually assaulted as part of their ongoing corrupt sex trafficking organization. Upon information and belief, plaintiff believes defendant Combs had hidden cameras in every room of his home in Hamptons, New York, and Florida. Upon information and belief, defendant Doe's, who were individual defendants, Thomas and Combs, passed off plaintiff to be sexually assaulted, were filmed by Combs' security cameras, assaulting the plaintiff while plaintiff is unconscious during the white parties in both New York and Florida. Upon information and belief, these individuals and plaintiff were recorded without their knowledge and consent. Yeah. Kim, I said it once, but that was it. You guys know what I mean when I say Jeffrey E. Okay, so hold on. If she's saying that she was recorded without her knowledge, then that means that well, I don't know if we'll see trial because it's a federal case. And I think cameras might not be allowed. But clearly that will come through, right? So then she has proof. If there's videos of her being unconscious, then she's not lying, right? She might be a little out there, but she's not lying if she has videos. Hey, Gas Mask, thanks again for being here. Kim says, this is so insane to believe. I understand why people have a difficult time because nobody wants to think these things happen, let alone know it. Kim, you make a very good point. And my traveling gypsy tarot says, with spiked drink. I believe that. I mean, we're seeing it with the pink drugs, all of the above, right? Yeah, that makes me sick. Kim Watt says that stuff was all started when Diddy was indicted. But there's video of her being unconscious. I don't know. That's rough. That's rough. Defendant Combs makes a promise of career advancement by way of music artist to plaintiff. Defendant Combs is very forceful, demanding, and does not take no for an answer, and would often threaten to inflict bodily harm and or terminate plaintiff or her then boyfriend Mr. Gallo's employment and blackball them from the industry if plaintiff did not comply with his demands. As defendant Combs acted and was viewed in such a way to where Mr. Gallo and plaintiff believed he had the power, where defendant Combs' threats were credible. Defendant Combs uses power and influence to threaten and intimidate plaintiff to continue participating in defendant Combs' corrupt sex and drug trafficking organization. Defendant Combs, in an effort to continue to silence plaintiff and keep her in his organization, offered to help plaintiff enter into the music business as part of an all-female music group. So because of copyright issues, I'm going to show the next page here of the lawsuit, but let's go and watch, let's start watching some of this video. Hold on a sec, let me play it. So trigger warning, we're going to start hearing her interview, and shout out to Lionel B. I will link his channel so you all can go watch that interview if you would like. So I'm trigger warning. Here we go. I'm going to take pauses for copyright matters. Thanks for being here, you guys. Gasma says, I gotta get at my party game. Another Galactus says another classic case of hidden. I believe it. In my opinion, Melly's opinion, I believe that power, money are the root of all evil if combined to an extent, right? With some of these people. Okay, so again, shout out to Lionel. I will link his channel if you want to watch the whole interview uninterrupted. Due to copyright issues, you can, but we're going to play here.
hey, I'm on them tapes, and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a on me, including certain people that are presidential.
Now peeps, I sat down today for a super exclusive interview with one of Diddy's accusers, Adria English. Diddy having threesomes with his...
I'm gonna skip the intro so we can get to the part where she talks.
Opportunity, he got scouted by a guy.
I feel like it's so much different if we read the actual lawsuit, right? Prior to all of this, that's why I wanted to read it, and then we watched the video.
How did you initially come in contact with Diddy?
Okay, it's a cute story. I'm from California. Prior, I had never been on the East Coast in my entire life. I had never been to Florida. I had never been to New York, nowhere on the East Coast. And a guy I was dating, Anthony Gallo, he's from Cali. We were both from Cali. He got an opportunity. He got scouted by a guy in LA who was a reputable scouting agent. It was initially Wilhelmina Models. And so they gave him the opportunity to come to New York for an audition. When he went out there, he ended up getting a lot of callbacks, but he was back in LA. And they said, well, you know, you're getting all these callbacks, but if you're going to model for real, we need you out here. So he had never been on the East Coast either. So he was like, and at this time, my family had found out that I had done adult movies. Now, mind you, I had an ex-boyfriend, Jake Steed. He was my boyfriend at first, and he manipulated me into the adult film industry. I only did 8 movies in a 6-month period of my life in the year 1999, but those 8 movies in 6 months follow me to this day. And I signed a residual contract, and Jake Steed been collecting all the money. He done put me on Pornhub. I'm everywhere. And they said he hiding out in South America. He been collecting my money the last 20-some years. I'm the one that gave Ray J and Kim Kardashian to connect. If you look at the production team, you can see we have the same production team. You see mine was filmed first.
Pause. I hadn't seen that. Not her bringing up Kim. Kim, you say I like this in writing. That's why I cover a lot of the legal documents here. I'm a document nerd. I like to read the legal documents because at the end of the day, we all have opinions and et cetera, but what's filed with the justice system in the court is what's going to fly eventually in trial in the courtroom, right? Gasman says just blatantly giving out people's right. Kim says the energy that surrounds all this is so dark. Okay, let's continue. Not Kim Kardashian.
Me, Ray J, Brandy, we all grew up in the same church, the Church of Christ.
She about to get sued.
Brother 𝗏🬗, their father is my vocal coach, so that's how we already knew each other. But they got famous with theirs because Kim Kardashian had a little bigger of a name because of her dad. So when Anthony got scouted, we ended up, my family had found some member of our church, my church from 9 years old had found out I did adult movies. They brought it to the minister who brought it to my parents. And when I came home from work, I was working as a telemetry technician in the critical care unit at Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach. And when I came home from my shift, my parents had it on the big screen. Me with an it in my mouth.
Oh. No. Your parents had that on there?
The valedictorian.
No, not her parents. Kim says KK is not what she seems. I feel like I need to do members live where we can just talk some real stuff, if you know what I mean. Because I don't believe the Kardashian clan is as innocent as we all think. They're beautiful. They're very successful. I admire that family's like whatever they're doing for success. But I feel like they are so powerful and rich. Not me going off on a tangent. Okay, let me play this. It's not right. It's not a Melly after dark.
Literally, the sheltered one from the suburbs who had never even had sex before in their knowledge. You know, the innocent one, their love child on the big screen with it. So when I shame my family like that.
What was that like walking into there and seeing that on the screen?
It was the worst day of my life. I still feel the memory, and it haunts me the same way Diddy haunts me to this day. I can still remember the way I felt, how my parents looked at me, you know. And then so when Anthony got the opportunity to move to New York, I was like, man, hell yeah, because I did the movies in 99, but they didn't find out until 2004. And that was the same time Anthony got asked to move to New York. So I said, man, I'm going with you. And then when we got out there, Anthony was going to go see whatever. He ended up getting an audition with Ford Models, and then Ford signed him. That was 𝗟𝗄𝗃, same agency. And so we were from Cali, and we had an apartment in the middle of Manhattan. So all the models in between their go-sees and their auditions would come hang out at our apartment. And we had the weed, and that's when weed was hella illegal. So we was from Cali, we had the weed. Anthony looked good. I was working at Larry Flint's Hustler Club, so I was already the hottest stripper because Manhattan is only 11 miles, about 13 miles. I'm from Cali, the West Coast. They all the East Coast people grew up together. They don't know me and Anthony like that, so they're intrigued. I look good, he look good. It's 20.
She's giving so many details, right? I have to pause for copyright. They're far from innocent, but follow the money, fame, money, and power buys a lot of people. I agree, Kim. Gypsy Turo says, I don't trust any of the KKK. KK, sorry. Oops. What I think is like Kardashian clan, but you're right, KK.
20 years earlier, I'm 46 right now. I'll be 47 in January. So imagine me in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? Body was extra banging, and even now, everything's real, butt real, lips real, nose real. I've never had a million behind me, so just imagine that.
So tell us a little bit more about how you guys actually got into doing these Diddy parties and him propositioning your dude.
Anthony is signed to Ford Models. Cassie is coming over to our apartment, hanging out. We're all friends. We actually started.
Oh, you was hanging out with Cassie?
Yeah, she would come over our apartment too, because her and Anthony were both signed to Ford Models. We were convenient right there in the middle of the city. So in between your auditions, your casting, you would come smoke weed and hang out at the bomb couple from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? We had the doorman building. We was popping, and so we all had our own private stories of because you know, East Coast music was a soundtrack to our lives. You know, from the West Coast, like we was fans of everybody: Mary J. Blige, Biggie, 112, Craig Mack, Mace. You know, Black Rob. You know, Dirty Money, Diddy. You know, everybody. You know. Lil Kim, shout out to Lil Kim. I got to meet her with T-Pain. She's very nice. She was very nice to me. So when we got there, we all had our own when me and Anthony got there, we had our own vision of what we would do if we ever met these certain people, Jay-Z, Diddy, and all that. And then Cassie did too. Her and Anthony were inspiring models. And Cassie wanted to sing and stuff. Anthony, he just more wanted to model, smoke weed, look good, get his dick sucked type shit. Cassie, she wanted to model, but she wanted to sing. She wanted to be an entertainer. And so we all had dreams to meet Diddy. So then fast forward, Anthony ends up getting called to audition for Diddy for the Sean John campaign. So he never invites me along to his auditions or his go-sees, but this particular day he invited me because he knew I was a fan. Like, he knew I was going to be mad he went to the damn thing and you didn't take me, you know what I mean? Because I you know, wanted to meet people and stuff. I was already a dancer. I was already moving and shaking. I already had a gang of athletes and whatever, but the music industry, because I rap and sing, that's where I wanted to get into.
She's talking. I hadn't seen all of this. Hey, Scott, good to see you. Thank you for being here, Jojo. He definitely looked good. I hope the rest of the victims come forward. Yeah, there's been a lot of victims. I'm curious to see what happens with all these celebs.
So, long story short, we sitting in the waiting room, and one of his homeboys that frequents our apartment comes out of the thing, and he's looking mad, like, shh. And so, low-key, me and Anthony laughing. We like, he must not have booked it. Like, he's salty. Like, we laughing to each other, like, you know. And then they called him. And then when they called him, I'm like, yeah, you got this, my nigga. Like, you know, I'm dapping on you. Got it. And then that's when 𝗟𝗃 was out. So when they called, I flipped my 𝗟𝗃 up. So I'm on my 𝗟𝗃 lining up some money for later on. All of a sudden, I just hear, man, fuck that. And the door had flew up, and it was, I'm like, what? And like, Anthony is a very good-looking guy. His mother is, you know, African-American black lady, and his father is an Italian man. And actually, the wine, Gallo wine, that's his family. And allegedly, his dad got,
Hi, guys.
like, basically shunned from his family for choosing up on a black woman. And he went on to have a few kids, and all of them are boys, and they're all very good-looking guys. But his dad chose to be poor to follow his heart and be with a black woman. And so, allegedly, His dad still to this day rides a bike in Northern California. He's from Northern California. He had moved down to LA. And so even though he was a good-looking guy mixed with black and Italian, he wasn't no punk. Like, it wasn't no gay in him. It wasn't no, bitch in him. Like, he had like a thug, but he a pretty boy. So, like, I guess they underestimated him, thinking that because he was so good-looking that he go that way. So
that's wild. Okay, let's take a pause for copyright. Here's a picture of her, and she says, "My group when I worked for Diddy. Plaintiff knew of defendant Combs' prowess in the music industry and knew he had the power to help her advance in the music career. Plaintiff believed defendant Combs would fulfill his promises to help her career just as he had helped plaintiff then boyfriend's modeling career. Plaintiff has been professionally exposed to the music industry side of defendant Combs' empire, which grew more aware of the true nature of her employment at the white parties with grotesque, inexcusable, and exploitive and criminal actions. Plaintiff's only way to escape Combs was to return to California, which plaintiff did in 2009. Upon information and belief in retaliation for plaintiff's escape, defendant Combs had plaintiff's then boyfriend, Mr. Gallo, blackballed from the modeling industry and had all of Mr. Gallo's campaign with Sean John removed. Upon information and belief in retaliation for plaintiff's escape, defendant Combs had plaintiff blackballed from the entertainment industry. So what she's saying is in her lawsuit filed first after Cassie and after April Lampros, I believe, in July.
Oh, he was more than offended. He was on some gangster shit. Like, he got me fucked up. So when we were in the elevator, I was like, man, what happened? He was like, man, he gave me that look like, man, shut the f-. And I was like, all right, because there was people in the elevator. So I was like, all right. So when we got, out the elevator, I'm like, what's up? I'm like, why are you tripping? He was like, man, nigga asked me to suck his dick. I said, who asked you to suck his dick? He said, Puffy. We was calling Puffy back then. Puff. And I said, no, he didn't. And it broke my heart, broke her arm. And I was like, nah. And he was like, he asked me to suck his dick. I was like, oh. I was like, well, then,
what?
I see why, you know what I mean? For sure. Like, it's a wrap. That. He's like, I don't need that job that fucking bad. So I was like, for sure. You know what I mean? We got in the cab. We went back to our apartment. His homeboy ended up coming through. We smoked blunts. We laughed at it. We was like, that, you know what I mean? But then, because I was a dancer, I'm also in the regular go-go club scene. And I ran into 𝗼𝗪, who ended up being, I call it handler, one of Diddy's handlers.
And we just read the part of the legal document about 𝗼𝗪, right? Jojo says, I think they have a ton of evidence and they got Diddy on the hook. I think so too, Jojo. Why wouldn't they give him no bail after 760 times that he tries to file, right? I'm being exaggerated there, but he's filed like a bail package for 50 mil like 3 times. 50 mil?
Wranglers. And she approached me with opportunity to help me and Anthony out. If I would dance at Diddy's white parties, Anthony can go ahead and book the campaign. I agreed to dance at the white parties. Anthony booked the Sean John campaign. He was everywhere. He was on billboards, buses, bus stops, cabs, in the magazine, all at the same damn time. He was everywhere. But right now, if you go and try to Google any one picture of that Sean John campaign, Diddy done scrubbed it all. I can't even hardly find a picture.
Now, did Diddy remember him whenever he eventually got that gig? Was he like, oh yeah, I remember you?
Yeah, because when he booked it, after they had like a lounge party where it was like a celebration, like, hey, the new campaign, let's all, and it was a very small lounge, like only the models was there, the creative director, the photographer, Diddy, a couple other people, and that's it. And so you went over it, so it was kind of like, thank you for letting your girl work my parties. You know what I mean? You came out great, my nigga. He didn't say my nigga. He said, what did he say? What did he say? You came out great.
Okay, these videos, the pool party, I've not seen that. It goes to show you how persistent and controlling he is. He won't stop until he gets what he wants. Right. He be doing the most. This is wild.
My guy, you're killing it, baby. You killing it. You know what I mean? So he basically tried to go over the fact that he had asked him to suck his, because he tried him and he didn't fall for it. So he felt stupid. He didn't know he was that thug.
So what was your reaction to that? I know both of you guys were upset, But were you thinking like, damn, ain't no Diddy was like this? Were you guys shocked when that happened?
Because I was already, I had been an ex, porn star, and I was currently an exotic dancer. For me, it was regular scheduled programming. Like, it's just what rich people with money do. Like, he tried it. He wanted to see, you know what I mean? To me, it was more funny, but Anthony took more offense. Like, no, like, he got me fucked up. So I had let it go. I was over it. When they asked me to work the parties, I was like, hell yeah, I would have did that shit damn near for free. You know what I mean? Just for the networking. I was a groupie at that point.
Oof.
And I didn't realize how pretty I was.
She admits she
I
was a
didn't realize
groupie.
they looked at me like that. And I extra didn't know that Diddy had gotten word of my former career in the adult entertainment industry that I was manipulated into by an ex-boyfriend that I only did for 6 months out of my life, that I wasn't trying, I didn't have aspirations to be a P star, none of that. I got manipulated into it so somebody could basically get my residuals and be basically caking off of me the last 20 plus years. I was very sheltered, naive. My parents are from LA, and so they raised me in the suburbs because they didn't want me to experience anything they saw growing up in the hood. And so when I went to Long Beach State and they put me in the co-ed dorms, to the left were the athletes and to the right were the girls who were stripping to get through school because they were all from LA, Compton, and Long Beach. I'm from Chino, California, a little nerdy girl with valedictorian. So when they were stripping to get through college, I kicked it with them. And that's how I ended up with Jake Steed. And he saw the innocence and the naiveness in me. He got me to do their movies. And then when Diddy found out about it, they used that against me. And then he viewed me as somebody that was sexually exploited, worthy. And yeah. And
Okay. Wow. Plaintiff has been severely depressed and began to blame herself for being trafficked and for sabotaging her own career. Being sex trafficked and abused has led plaintiff into a tailspin of anxiety and depression. In or about 2010, plaintiff was hospitalized for mental illness as the direct cause of her being trafficked by defendants. Everywhere plaintiff looked, she was reminded of being trafficked by defendant Combs, as he is an inescapable presence in music, television, and film. In the ensuing years, plaintiff has also experienced alcohol and drug addiction and attempted to cope with emotional trauma of being assaulted and trafficked. Plaintiff has also experienced intimacy issues as she struggles to maintain emotional and sexual relationships with men. Plaintiff was recently married, however fears her marriage may fall apart due to her mental breakdowns precipitated by memories of assault and trafficking. So I'm taking pauses from the video and reading from the lawsuit that we were just reading from.
heart. When I told him that I rap and I sang, and he said I was dope. And he said he was going to bring me and I had a girl group out. Like, I'm the Beyonce of my group. They even told you that I was the dopest one. And it's called Coercion of the Heart. And he played on the fact that he knew I liked to rap, sing, and perform. And that's why he would bring me back year after year saying, you're getting closer, like initiation, you're getting closer. But it never happened. But he kept making me, sexually perform while he was wheeling and dealing and, getting jewelry from Jacob the Jeweler, cutting a deal with this person, recording me and him over there so he can extort that person out of woo-woo. We all didn't know, but he had a plan the whole time. And that's why he made people sign NDAs that said, you can't talk about what we went through until 20 years after I died. But I never signed that. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 and ᗟ𝗇 and them, they got hit with that. I was already out the game. I was done from 2004 to 2009. By the time he was running around with them, I was already, on the way out.
So if I
Oh, she brings up 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲, which I am dying to hear. Something filed by her. Her and Alicia Carter stories match up quite a bit. Kim says, but wait, there's more. Britt Nicole says he's a sicko. Wow.
understand correctly, so basically he had you setting up people, man. Some of his high profile people, he had you go over there so he can get video of certain.
No, he wouldn't say go over there so I can get video. He would hire me to work as a go-go dancer. They had 3 stages, positioned throughout his mansion. It was where he lived. It was his residence. It wasn't a club. It wasn't a lounge. And so it just makeshift stages, 3 stages set up in his house, like for us to be checkpoints. Like my stage was over by the bar. Tamiko's stage was over by the food. You know, old girls checkpoint was over there by the rooms if you wanted to go do something. So it's like, I think he kind of told the guests, hey, if you want to drink, look for, just look for a stage and you're going to find something you need. You know what I mean? So we were elevated above the crowd. And so, but we were instructed to only drink from certain liquor bottles. It's the girls' champagne, it's the guys' champagne. Girls don't drink the guys' champagne, girls don't drink the boys' champagne.
And we just saw that in the lawsuit, right?
All the champagne was laced with ketamine, like horse tranquilizer, ecstasy. That's not allegedly. We were all doped up. And to this day, I believe we all, and I know I do, have a chemical imbalance. Like whenever I drink anything, it could be one glass of wine, all of a sudden I'm a stripper, I'm a P-star, like I'm a...
And you guys know we talk about that kind of stuff here. Thanks, Emery, for stopping by. Oh, have a good time with your grandbabies. I appreciate you making an appearance. And she's talking about trauma heavily, right?
I just black out on that. I'm 𝗍_Diddy.
Oh, wow.
You know, Orlando Brown running around like I'm Puff. He not really acting like it to everybody else. Everybody looking like he want attention, like he wilding, like. But it's something about when he drugged you that he stood over you, like infusing himself into you while you laid there unconscious, and it's like it became a part of you, because after a certain amount, they started calling me 𝗍_Diddy. They're like, man, she act like Diddy, she just like Diddy, and hence I've been 𝗍_Diddy for the last 20 years. So I feel Orlando when he be like, man, I'm Puff. It's nice to meet you, I'm Puff. Because when we get faded, like it's like he come out in us, like, and that's forever. That's why it's haunting us to this day.
How do you think he was able to, but besides all the things you guys were laced with, you think he put maybe his DNA or something kind of strange into that concoction?
Yeah, the reason why he like to take, we have a chakra in our anus, guys and girls, and your chakra is a pathway to your soul. So because he's working for Lucifer, his goal is to take souls to hell. So that's why straight men, he wanted to turn them gay. Even if a gay man was gay, he wanted to make him be a pedophile and be with a minor. His thing was to take the soul. So that's why after a certain amount of time, he would make an announcement like, you better go on home because, the party really about to crack now. And
she's bringing up all kinds of things there, right? So many kids, where were all these parents? Great question. I get what she's saying. The energy surrounding all of these devious acts. She's right. The root chakra. We're going to do some members' lives about that kind of stuff here soon.
And all of a sudden, everybody's demon would come out. And that's on God. Like, have you ever gotten like so faded or drunk where your body is doing stuff, but in the morning you have literally no recollection? Like, if it ain't from your homeboy showing you it, like, man, I recorded you, nigga. If it wasn't for him showing you, you would swear up and down you didn't do that shit. But then when he show you the video, you like, what the? I jumped in the pool. I don't even know how to swim, my nigga. What? Like, I don't even remember that bitch. Like, what? It was like that.
That's that blackout drinking.
Right, but he had imagine everybody blacked out though. It doesn't matter if you a celebrity or. That's why J-Lo left the country.
That's why J-Lo left the country. Defendant Combs has altered the trajectory of plaintiff's career by denying her a successful and lucrative career in the music industry. To this day, plaintiff experiences bouts of depression, anxiety, body image issues, feeling of worthlessness, and intimacy issues because of being trafficked by Combs. Plaintiff is a woman of faith, and she saw news coverage of the countless lawsuits initiated by brave other individuals against Diddy. She knew she had a moral obligation to speak up. Plaintiff feared further violence and/or retaliation from defendant Combs in filing this lawsuit, but ultimately decided it was imperative she speak her truth with hopes that no other individual would have to endure the egregious and heinous treatment she has. Plaintiff seeks justice for herself and for any of other Combs victims. I'm not Jenny from the block.
Had her sticking bottles and stuff up in my homegirl. She was only 11 years old. She the girl that they put on the private jet. They her with the jelly beans. They put on the private jet. They took her to the studio in New York, and then had the nerve to dress her up in a D&G sweater, do her hair, put makeup on her, and take a picture like a trophy. She only 11 years old in that picture, and that's not allegedly. And then the same
11?
girl,
J-Lo was
She
messing
11
around
years
with.
old?
man, there's so many. I drop names on the neck, man. On the we talking about Diddy right now, but it's yeah. And then that's the same girl that in the magazine is.
And we know J-Lo's real quiet now, huh? We all talk about it in chats. We're like, where's Jenny from the block? Jenny? Are you still Jenny from the block? You not Jenny from the block no more? I've had a couple of nights like that way back in the day, and it's scary. Grace, thank you for admitting that. We all have been through that, right? This is J-Lo. Gim, that's a good one. J-Lo. L-O-W. But I agree. I think she's so quiet.
Laying on the table.
She just got divorced, right?
With fruit and food and stuff off of her, and we all eating off of her. I sucked the strawberry off her. She 14 years old laying on that table. She had a body like a grown woman. You don't think anybody's looking at that thinking that's a kid laying there. You're assuming it's a grown woman.
Facts. I have been to a party where there has been sushi eaten off a female, or served off of a female. Sorry. Fatty says, listening on the back, what's this woman's name? Her name is Audrea English. This lawsuit was filed on July 3rd, 2024. And this interview is as of recent, I think in the last week.
So he made everybody be with a minor, you know, against your will, and he recording the shit. Same girl needed to do a number 2 on stage. She performing. She told him, I need to go off stage. I need you to bathroom. He told her no. She ended up shit on stage. It was a wet. Went everywhere. And Denzel Washington grabbed up his wife, mobbed up to Diddy, and was like, man, you don't respect nobody. Had to run up out there. That's the incident they're talking about with Denzel Washington had to run up out of there.
So that's why Denzel and his wife left that party, because of that
Because
incident.
she shit on stage, and she was only 14 years. He didn't know she was 14. It was just the fact that she shit on stage and in front of everybody. And then Diddy took her to a room and beat her ass because she shit on stage. Then he would only give her water baths and not let her wash with soap. I'm gonna say allegedly.
Whoa. That's the same thing Alicia Carter said. Lapino. Oh, damn, 14. Let's make a doc series. Call it Jenny from the Cell Block. You know, she sings that song like, I'm real, which, Ja Rule. How, Jenny from the Block, how real are you? Where are you at, Jenny from the Block? We need to hear from you. Where are you at? She's like,
Because
she has all her
she's
lawyers
still
working
Jane
on the
Doe
back
right
end.
now. I'm gonna say allegedly. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's allegedly. But she wants a DNA on 2 of his kids because they took 2 babies out of her. They kept her locked up and they had her babies at the house. The 2 babies they took out of her stomach. That's not allegedly.
Damn.
And allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, she had a 3 with Diddy and his own mama / auntie, and she had a 3 with Nelly and Diddy. That's not alleged.
No.
Allegedly. Sorry, Ashanti. I love you, Ashanti. I love you, Ashanti.
She just threw Nelly in there, not Melly, Nelly, and all kinds of people, right? Most of the people from the box said she's full of it. Gypsy Trail's like, ew, done. She was like,
Congratulations on the ability. I love y'all together. It was 20 years ago. Don't get mad at 20. We talking about 20 years ago. Don't get emotional. We just telling our truth, people. Please don't get mad. It's some of y'all's favorites. It's gonna kill y'all. It's gonna devastate y'all when you hear the names involved, because we all grew up on these people. We all love these people. We'd have never thought these people would have been involved in the things that they're involved in. We're just telling our truths, everybody, and it was 20 years ago. So please don't judge us or say we lying. We're being nice enough to let y'all know what's going on from an insider point of view. If you were not even there, don't tell somebody they lying when you weren't even there.
Big facts. And fans love to say, you know, that people are capping or people are just coming up with stories. Now, hold on. Before we move forward, I'm still stuck on, you said Diddy and his mom and his auntie,
No, Diddy's mom is really his auntie, has been claiming to be his mom this whole time. She's the one with the white nails. That's why he has that fetish. She's been picking him since he was adolescent, because his daddy got killed when he was a baby. As soon as he had adolescent, he resembled his dad. So she started picking him. She's the one that picked his head up initially. That's why, allegedly. I might be talking too much.
Nah, go ahead. Keep going. We loving this. We loving this.
Yeah, but you know, allegedly that's why he took Kim Porter out, because he has sex with his daughters, allegedly. The twins. The whole family has sex. The same girl I was
Whoa.
telling you about, that the
What?
Jane Doe, the 11 and 14-year-olds, the same girl he made strap Justin Bieber down, and she had to strap him down while Diddy and two of his sons took turns, and she had to sit there and watch, and Justin Bieber was crying and begging to be let up, and when she went to unloosen him, Diddy socked her in the face in front of Justin Bieber. So we trying to get with Justin because he would corroborate. Allegedly, Justin, get at me, Justin. We be confidential. We ain't got to tell the press, nobody. Holler at me, Justin. I'll put y'all together. She was there, you was there. I was already out of it. She told
I'm like, I hadn't watched this. I'm over here. I'm tripping. Not J-Lo, Justin. She's bringing up a whole lot of names. So is she lying? She doesn't have a filter. That's why people don't believe her. I agree, Kim. Despite my own trauma, I was highly affected by Warren Wright and 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲. He's still free. Oh, I'm interested in that, my 13 cats. Being nice enough, what the heck, y'all? Been hiding crimes for decades? Right. She's speaking a lot of stuff that I don't know if she would be making that up.
me that story, but Justin, I got you.
Damn. Also, you saying Diddy and Nelly was in bed together?
She's had a threesome with Diddy and Nelly. Yes, the same Jane Doe. This Jane Doe was around from 11 years old to about 15 years old. Had bore 2 kids. I'm not gonna say which one she believe are hers that he's been raising. You know what? On a side note, where is the white girl? Where's the white girl that he adopted?
I got asked about that today earlier in the
Where
interview.
is
I think
she?
her name is Adria Combs.
Where is she? They said, oh, the twins are staying
know.
with one of Kamara's friends, or Kim Porter, whoever. The son's been in New York and back and forth to LA. Where's the white girl that they was online bragging and proud that they saved her life and everything? Where is the white girl?
She done disappeared.
Ava. Where's
That's
Ava?
something.
I want to call her the white girl. Shout out to my white people.
Exactly.
My mom's
Ava
half
Combs.
white. I love white people. I'm white. It's white in me. Where's Ava? Everybody, can we do a campaign? Everybody, hashtag where's Ava?
Where's Ava? We need to get some shirts made too.
Right, where's Ava? Mask, all that. Booty shorts, we can twerk to it, all that. You know what I'm saying? I got some.
Man.
That's something. To be continued.
Wait. What? She does. It's very difficult to believe her, but she's very consistent. She was rugged, allegedly. Mo says, I believe her. My 13 cat says victims have a choice not to share. I have a few lives coming up where we're going to talk about these topics. Going to be very good. Bringing up a couple different creators.
Boy, you done gave us some jaw-dropping information so far, man. This is whoa.
Like Black Rob. Shout out to Black Rob. Whoa.
Now tell us a little bit about how he ended up putting you with Jacob the Jeweler, and tell us how that Jacob the Jeweler story went down.
So the first party I did, it was above board, you know. It was I networked. Excuse me, I saw everybody. I was there front line, like, you know, I was calling back home to the Cali people, like, hey, you'll never believe this, like, for real, like, and then next party, it was like, yeah, you want to rap, you want to sing, right? You dance at the club, right? He started out like he was pointing me in the right direction. Cause you know,
I don't know, that's rough. Kim says, I hope she doesn't get pneumonia. Kim, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I have another live this week coming up about that. She said too much in detail every interview. She has the same thing. It's consistent, so I believe her. Truth never lies. Yes, Snuggles, I agree with you. I fully believe her. She just should have exposed all of this decades. No high horses when you are that kind of way. Tony Cat says, I can take many years face to facts and sometimes till after death of the predator. So much to say. If you come out with a book and a movie, right? Cat's meaning, I agree with you, but wasn't getting my thoughts thoroughly. This whole thing has me shook. Grace, we're shooketh. We are.
Everybody's been to the strip club, and every girl that's been a stripper knows you love the guys that come in, and if they're not the ones spending money, they point you to their homeboy that is. Have you ever seen a bachelor party come in and they be like, it's not me, but get him. He's the one paying for everybody. So it was kind of like he did that. Like, he took the mindset that I had of being a dancer, of like, while you at my parties, I'm going to point you in the right direction. You take care of them, and I'm going to put you on. That's how I understood it. Coercion of the heart. And because...
Haas, thanks for stopping by. And I agree. I agree with what you said about the previous people who have, quote unquote, passed from pneumonia. I have a live coming up on that.
I wanted to be on so bad, and he was actually real, you know, puffy. It wasn't like it was Puffy's assistant. It was like real Puffy saying it. I believed it. And I'm like, I had already been manipulated by Jake Steed and did, you know, movies that got me nowhere. I was dancing at Larry Friend's Hustler Club only because me and Anthony Gallo had got robbed for everything. And it was go back to Cali, broke with everybody laughing, or you start dancing. That's how I ended up starting to dance. You know, I'm dancing. We have a nice lifestyle. We got a doorman building, you know what I mean? But Diddy said, I just got to basically do the same thing I've already done that's got me nowhere and it's going to get me somewhere. Coercion of the heart, I was with. But then as he kept adding on, so that night I was asked to wear a black dress at a white party, but I didn't think nothing of it. Like, he always supplied the uniform.
And we just heard that, right? How she says the whole outfit thing. I believe it. Yes. Yes, Haspunto. We have Lil Sandoval. We have a live coming up on that. So I'm very glad you touched on it. The Brittany Murphy stuff. I at 50 next year, and I only hope for my essay. Oh, got help for my essay last year. It's not something that people are comfortable with talking about. And I like that kind of stuff. I like to talk about that stuff. He probably robbed her, so she had to get back. Emery says thousands of people knew, and all of this, just let it happen. If you see something, say something. I don't know, maybe it didn't apply to celebrities. Thanks, Marcus, for stopping by. I appreciate you. Victims don't know how to be good victims. She didn't speak about it for so long. Now she's going to spew it. Absolutely.
That's another thing. In the Vibe magazine, let me go back to Vibe magazine real quick. I never signed a release.
We saw Vibe is in the lawsuit,
anything. Right? I didn't even know I was going to be in Vibe magazine. I woke up to Anthony getting a phone call from one of his model homeboys. Like, hey, you know your girl in Vibe magazine? Because back then, when a new story or new campaign came out, it was on the newsstand and everybody went out to get it.
Okay, so we just covered that, right? We showed on the lawsuit. It says, on or around Labor Day 2004, plaintiff's picture was taken in her employment capacity at Diddy's white party in New York. Plaintiff did not know what her picture was taken for or would be used for, nor was plaintiff's consent sought or given. Plaintiff has never entered into any agreement with defendants to license her likeness, nor was it a term of employment at the white party. Defendant, Vibe magazine, and PMC intentionally mislabeled plaintiff as a guest at the white party in its magazine to further conceal their true intentions of the event and plaintiff's employment role at the event, an effort to further the goals of the defendant's illegal and criminal enterprise. Defendant, Vibe, and PMC exploited plaintiff's likeness in their November 2006 magazine, where defendant Combs was the cover, and the story was about defendant's white parties, which was by this point a cultural phenomenon. Plaintiff's unauthorized, consensual, and infringing use of her picture and likeness appears on page 140 of the magazine. And here's the magazine, the picture. This is a lawsuit filed in the state of California on July 3rd, 2024. So it's in her lawsuit.
It was an East Coast thing, because in Cali, we didn't do shit like that. Nobody rushed out to get the latest magazine, but in New York, they did that shit. So we had just had the night before, so we laying in the bed naked, and I wake up to him smushing my head in the pillow, like, what the fuck you doing in Vibe magazine? I'm like, what? I'm in Vibe magazine, like, what? He was like, yeah, Nelly just called. That's his homeboy Zanell. Shout out to Zanell. He went on doing a lot of stuff with Diddy. Zanelle Figueroa. Yeah. But he was like, yeah. So I'm like, what? He's like, so we got jumped up, put our clothes on, doorman opened up the door for us. Right there was a newsstand, Diddy's on the cover on the boxing gym, you know what I mean, with the gloves or whatever. We opened up,
Not the
flipped through
same
it, and there
picture
I
in the
am. That picture
lawsuit.
that you see, big as day. I had no idea. That picture was taken in 2004. They didn't run a story to 2006. I had no idea that they put in there, Diddy supplied the clothing. Then they put the caption, guest strikes a revealing pose. I wasn't a guest. Who would I be a guest of? Who knew me? You know what I mean? Did Mary J. Blige say, come on, Cherie? And then if I am a guest, the audacity of me thinking I could just come in some little ass go-go shorts and a bikini top to somebody's exclusive white party with all.
Okay, so back to the lawsuit. Plaintiff's unauthorized, non-consensual, and infringing use of her picture appears on page 140, which we see here on the document. Plaintiff did not discover the infringing use until approximately April 2024. This infringing use promoted, without limitation, products synonymous with Combs, including the white party. Plaintiff is readily and easily identifiable in the infringing use. It violates plaintiff's rights to privacy via misappropriation. Plaintiff has never given defendant to release to her use. The November 2006 issue of defendant's Vibe and PMC is still readily available for sale and viewable online.
Kind of millionaires, and I'm a guest of who? But I'm their guest, and I'm gonna just show up like that, not a nice elegant gown or nothing. I'm gonna just show up all hoochie mama. No, I was on his event staff, but that's how they got away with putting me in there without trying to give me no employee credit, right? And then I found out later, another reason why they put me in the Vibe magazine, and so all the guys who wanted extras would know who to look for at the parties and to laugh at me, because they took advantage of me after they drugged me and I was unconscious. The Fed said, well, allegedly, I'm not gonna say, someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a train on me. And
we just read that in the lawsuit. God bless you all who have been abused. Exactly, my 13 cats. Haz says it's a bit embellished, but I believe her. Halo, thanks for being here, Lo. Appreciate you. Kim says I could say a lot about being a victim, but every victim has a different story and just some can't tell. Exactly. I hope they got them all. It's brutal.
including certain people that are presidential. No, we're not talking about, we're talking about Diddy. We're going to come back to that, LB. Stay with me. We don't go any further.
Who did I just see in that picture?
The man. Hey, but anyway,
no.
Once I found that out, I've been living my life for the last 20 years not knowing that had even happened to me. And now because they found out that I know.
Was that the president?
That I'm on them tapes with them doing that to me. These are people that have smiled in my face since then. I had no idea that. But if there's a certain way the tape is going to come out, and there's a certain way that it never will. You got to stay tuned.
Did that scare you? Like, were you scared when the feds advised you that, there was some pretty high profile people doing some crazy things to you?
It angered me, actually, because, I went in, under the presumption that we were all working together to make the, event hot. And I was doing my part as a hired entertainer to bring my West Coast vibes and to make, the part. And I was always complimented. That's why I kept being invited back. When there was multiple, girls all around the city, all around the tri-state, you go up and down the East Coast, you can get a girl in from Boston, Connecticut, Jersey real quick. But they kept rehiring me because I made that shit hot. And I was, I was genuine, naive, and I was like a fan. And
I do believe that. I do believe that. At relevant times, plaintiff had the sole and exclusive right of publicity in regard to the use of her picture, portrait, and likeliness under New York state law. and common law right of publicity. Defendants have, without plaintiff's authorization or consent, since used plaintiff's likeliness for advertising or other trade purposes without consent. None of the defendants at any point had a license for the use of plaintiff's picture and likeliness to promote white parties. At no point did plaintiff authorize, consent to, or otherwise seek to allow the defendants or any of them to exploit her image or likeliness as in the infringing use in any manner. Plaintiff is informed and believes, and thereon alleges that defendants and each of them engaged in the unauthorized exploitation and misappropriation of plaintiff's photograph, image, picture, and likeliness by prominently featuring her in the advertising and marketing materials for defendant Combs, etc., on various online platforms and physical materials, including but not limited to infringing use. Let's finish this video.
That's how pretty I was, and they took advantage, and he likes to steal your light. He's an energy vampire. He steals your light, he takes a piece of you, and then he infuses the devil's seed in you from him and puts a little evil from him into you that you can never take out of you. It's like soul ties. I want to be hypnotized, actually. I want to be hypnotized, and want y'all to tell me what I said and what I did while I was under.
Now, what you were telling me about Diddy, that kind of reminds me of that movie. I don't know if you ever seen it, Rosemary's Baby.
I never saw it. What happens in that?
Well, basically, this lady, man, this is back in the 60s. This is a really dope movie, though. But they move into this brand new apartment, and the husband's an actor. So in order for him to advance his career, he has to do demonic, satanic stuff in order to advance his career. So one of the things he sacrificed was his wife, and he allowed these demons and devils to impregnate his wife, so that way she could have the devil's baby.
And that's a lot, and that's what's going on within the Hollywood and the music industry, and that's why people are leaving the country and everything, because that's what they do, is practice in satanic and demonic activity.
Kim, I really like your comment. You said, I've been feeling like I need a channel for everyone in true crime to understand the energetic signatures. Yes, I agree with you. We will be doing some of that here. Divine timing, right? I agree with you, Kim. Definitely.
That's why when they're blessed with the highest status, the most money, the best cars, the best food, the best everything, they choose to spend their time on a daily basis doing evil, not doing good, not going around to the homeless shelters for single moms, the single mom shelters, and saying, I'm gonna pick 3 women who ride the bus every day, who got 3 kids or more. 3 kids, three women getting cars today. That's what I'm gonna do when I get my money. I'm gonna wake up and go to the women's shelter, and they say you have a good report and you ride the bus every day to get to work, and you paying your kids daycare and all that. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Just, I don't want no press. You won't even know I did it. I said, I don't want to wake up every day doing shit like that. Fuck a Gucci bag. I don't need a bag to fix my teeth. My teeth already straight. I need a bag to fix my streets and to save souls. That's my goal. As I look back on it, and now everything is coming out, I would almost say Jacob might be a victim himself, because he already did that time back then for helping laundering that money. That's not allegedly. He did time. So now he's back in a twist that involves, Diddy and his association, and his wife was there that night. And maybe Diddy set it all up and lined it all up so he can get footage on him to blackmail him, use me, have me thinking I'm going to come out, and maybe like Jacob is but it did go down. My dress was flipped up. They had me wear a black dress that night when everybody else was wearing white. They put Tamika in the pink dress. She was the one passing all the money and doing all the back and forth, almost like a handler or a wrangler.
I support you.
And I got an extra $1,000 that night when I did the extras. That's when I thought, okay, if I just do the extras, like eventually it's going to be an end to the rainbow and I'm going to be on.
So was it just $1,000 the whole night, or was it like $1,000 per person, or how did that work?
Yeah, I only got $500 to do the go-go dancing. So when it was above board, the first part, I just made $500 plus the experience, networking, all that. When I did the extras, I got my $500 plus $1,000. But next party was, 3 niggas. The next party was 7 niggas, and I still was only getting my $500, allegedly.
That's rough. But yeah, Kim, like I said, please let us know or drop your link. I support, well, pause. I support good, genuine channels. Let's just say that. Gracie, I'm so glad you made it, my beautiful. Thank you for being here.
So no extras, no extra 1,000 and any of that. It was just
He was
500.
getting the extras, allegedly. They was shooting him the
Thank you, Haas,
$100,000
for
chain.
subscribing.
They was shooting him the keys to the yacht. They was shooting him the penthouse. They was shooting him the awards.
Glad you're here.
While I was
just saw your
sucking in the
comment.
fucking allegedly.
Thank you, thank
Now,
you, thank
what
you.
was your boyfriend's
here.
reaction? Because was he at some of those events, or were you just there solo?
He went to a couple, but either he wasn't privy, because I didn't tell him. I didn't want him to know I was doing that shit. But if he did know, Diddy and them had told him, and he would just, maybe he had a side deal, but he knew I was in the game. He knew I was a dancer. He knew I was networking. He knew if the money's there, go get it. But he wasn't like pimping me or anything or saying, go get it, you know. He was my boyfriend.
Now, with all this information that you're putting out, many people are wondering why would you come out with this information now versus
Well, when I moved
previously?
back after they jumped me in Harlem in December 2009, I had to move back abruptly to California. After Anthony Gallo was cheating on me with Rihanna and Megan Good and all his model bitches. After Diddy and all them had me jumped in Harlem. After I left Anthony and got my own spot in Harlem, they had me jump through my same Jane Doe I was telling you about. That actual Mark Diddy's attorney signed us out because she was in the mental hospital at the same time. And I heard, now that we're back like Voltron connecting, I'm finding out that Diddy's attorney Mark doped her up a gang of times because they took her out the country a gang of times, allegedly. But she about to pop out with her name in her lawsuit.
So as far as your legal proceedings, where are you at now with your lawsuit?
Right now, I'm in consultations with new legal. I have until December 11th to assign a new attorney to my case. I'm taking my time. I'm in consultations with very big, high-profile attorneys. I'm working on the settlement, so I can pop out with my new attorneys who help me settle. Because I already know as soon as the criminal starts in May of 2025, all civil cases are going to go on stay anyway. So I'm working on settling mine because I already know I'm going to be called into the criminal. So that's where I'm at with it. Everybody thinks that I'm in some type of disarray because I haven't popped out, or, it's been said that, my people, withdrew, and that, a withdrawal was because of a fire, I don't want to give it too much attention, but somebody was being fired, and that's why they publicly withdrew to try to hurry up and save face and look like they left, because they were running around doing press and ad missions that I had not made or authorized, and I'm the client. I can have as many or as little attorneys as I want, and if I feel like I'm being ignored or not paid attention to, and I want to hire additional representation, that's my prerogative. That is not for somebody to control me and tell me I can't and run around doing press that they're not even letting me do. We're not even doing press together. So, yeah, just let that go. And now I'm doing my own legal strategy. And worst case scenario, I go in there and represent my damn self, because the press alone will be great. I don't care if I win or lose, because I've been rich. My daddy just died, LAPD. I got an inheritance.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Imagine me in court. Imagine me in federal court representing myself, LB. I'll just have you there. LB, I need you to cover it, LB. That's some shits and giggles on the gang. Mustard on that beat,
I
huh?
got you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, tell DJ Mustard to call me, because I want them to bring me out February 2025 in New Orleans on stage when Kendrick's performing West Coast We Up. Just let me say, mustard on that beat, huh?
I don't know if this is a rumor or if this is something that was just on the internet. Were you married to Al B Shore's son, or no?
No, Quincy. We're flirting right now. We met and we're fancying each other. And what better way to get at his daddy who killed his mother, allegedly, than to date the woman that's about to take all his money?
What?
How you gonna have a relationship with Quincy? You know Quincy loves Mr. Combs, man. How that's gonna work?
He trapped in the middle, and he been doped up his whole life. Imagine if you've been getting dope out the bottle.
Wait, Quincy? Yes, you should, Gracie. Hey, Against All Logic, thanks for being here. Her energy is everywhere. Yeah, I don't believe Kim Porter died of pneumonia.
Allegedly.
All right, thank you
And
so much,
Quincy?
man, for coming on the Lionel B Show, man. You gave us so much.
Okay, so that interview's over. Let's just touch back real quick on first cause of action. RICO, just going through the last parts of this legal document. Oh, wait, hold on. I do have to read this part. Defendants have unlawfully increased their profits by luring and deceiving individuals, such as plaintiff or their organization, for the misstated purpose of using their talents as entertainment. Defendants' true intentions are later revealed through a calculated grooming scheme that involves false promises of business opportunities, exposure to high-level celebrities, including former President Donald Trump, Reverend Al Sharpton, Paris Hilton, Jay-Z, and music executives like Russell Simmons, 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗲, Gotti, Steve Stout, Andre Harrell, and Liar Cohen, my apologies, with the promise of introductions, networking, fame, and fortune, which quickly shifts to unauthorized drugging, threats, and sex trafficking. So that was the first interview, and there's another one that I'm going to play. It's fairly short, so we're almost done with this, but I did want to read through the lawsuit, the allegations, and touch on that video and see what you guys think. Kim says, yeah, so many people died of pneumonia that was connected to Diddy. Yeah, I know. I don't believe that. But the next video is not as long, fairly short. So I'm going to pull it up. And let's watch the second part of that interview. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you hit that like button. Okay, here we go. This is the second part of it.
How did that
Isn't
feel?
isn't it interesting how you guys are upset just hearing about it, but we actually lived it? So imagine how we feel. And then now we have to defend and prove it to y'all that we went through what we went through when y'all have nothing to do with it. We already lived it. And when we were living it and going through it live, y'all were nowhere around. So it's just interesting that it draws emotion from you guys and you weren't even there, and we actually lived it, and we have to explain ourselves and beg for y'all to believe us. It's interesting.
Now, peeps, for all of you who've seen part 1 of my viral interview with Adria English, where she sat down for an exclusive tell-all, this is part 2. And if you hadn't had the pleasure of seeing part 1, make sure you watch it right after this video, as it will be linked in the video description.
Those major celebrities that Diddy actually trapped
His mom. Now, this is an interview that you definitely don't want to miss.
Who were some of those
Shout out to
major
Lionel
celebrities
for getting
that
this
Diddy actually
interview.
trafficked you to?
Jacob the jeweler. Hey, Jacob. The others are from European countries and of a royalty.
The
Very
prince.
royal.
Princes. We heard about that in the
Very
soft white
royal.
underbelly interview, right?
Like princes,
On one of my live.
that type of thing?
Definitely a prince.
Whoa.
The opposite of being smooth. If you have smooth arms as opposed to hairy.
Ooh.
Not her doing that. She says they're hairy, and then there's Harry. Kim, a lot of people think that, actually. It's interesting you say that. If you guys have missed some of the Diddy indictments, make sure you watch my previous videos. We've almost covered them all.
So we're talking about the one that's newly married to the biracial lady.
That's the only prince. That's the only prince I know.
Okay. Damn, y'all.
Allegedly. It's a few people that are presidential.
A few. So it was more than one president.
Somebody who should have just stepped down and retired and appointed somebody else to the actual power instead of them making them jump through a bunch of circuits and hoops only to not give it to them. You know you had the power to just go ahead and step down and appoint, but you didn't want to do that, right?
Okay, she's dropping some pretty big, powerful names. So I'm curious how that will play out here in this near future. Kim says, I get bad juju from him. He borders soft. Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is wild.
Allegedly. Not allegedly. That's what you did. You should have stepped down. How you gonna back? Oh wait, I'm saying too much. But how you gonna back a campaign when all you had to do was step down and then appoint and say, hey, it wouldn't have to be no election. You know what I'm saying?
Just to clarify for the audience, it was more than one president that was found on those tapes?
Multiple.
Damn.
Multiple kings and princes from different countries. Dubai, shout out to Dubai. You got all the hoes in LA up. That's what the hoes out here do. Go to Dubai and get that bag and come out here and spend it.
I've heard that. I've heard of that.
I told y'all game. Why you mad now?
I do hear of that, of workers going out to places like Dubai. Kim says, I wonder if she's in hiding. She says she's not afraid, but I don't know about that. I agree. Thirdly, Kans, she's off of it. I know a lot of people are like, why is she in the bed? But again, she's throwing out some pretty powerful names, as you guys just heard. So they're probably going to shut that down real quick, right? If she's lying and or they don't want that out. But
not just LA, all the hoes. All the hoes is going to Dubai to get that money. I ain't mad at y'all. That ain't allegedly.
Thanks, Snuggle.
Yeah, there's a lot of celebs that we actually heard. A lot of female celebs that was going to Dubai and getting that Prince money and coming back.
Needs to speak her truth. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes, true.
So they also take flights and private jets, and they come to America too to have a good time. You know.
I think so too, Kim.
So they definitely show up for the party.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about Janice.
Sure.
I know in that first interview, you definitely went in, you gave us some little bit of details, but give us some more details about Miss Janice Combs.
Well, let's talk about Mama D. You know what you did to my friend.
Ooh.
You know how you and your son played with my friend underage in the bed, Janice? Why you do that to your son, allegedly? Why you allegedly turn your son out and now he's this worldwide global threat? You know why he has so much anger against women? Because of you, Janice. Because of what you did to him. If you guys check with anybody that's been traumatized, especially sexually, a lot of times the person they're traumatized by causes a block in their brain and a hatred. So if you're a man that gets traumatized by a woman, deep down you're going to hate women and it might turn you gay.
Okay. I'm curious what y'all think about Mama Combs, allegedly. Makes sense. It's hard for me to watch. Kim says perhaps they want for her them to speak out, flesh out more information. It is hard to watch, but I think for such a serious matter, we need clarity and seriousness. I agree, Gracie, but I don't know. I feel like she abused Diddy. That was my next question is, did you guys think that happened? Hey, Danielle, good to see you. That's what I heard. Mom Diddy had threesomes together. And now Diddy is abusing everyone. It is a trauma effect. I'm not saying that everyone that's been through that does it, but I feel like if this is all true, does that play a role, right? Clearly it does. The trauma, the mental health, she needs to be in jail. The mom. She's said nothing either, right? Other than defending him.
If you were traumatized by a man, you might just turn gay and just be gay because that's your first sexual experience. If you're a virgin and your first sexual experience is with the opposite sex, your mind is going to naturally go back to that to bust your nut. And if you were going to be heterosexual, but somebody took advantage of you, It's weird and it's sad to say, but even though it's abuse deep down, that's going to be the thing that gets you off because that's your first sexual experience. You feel me?
Learned
So
behavior, yeah,
Janice, you
Jojo?
know what you did. You know it
Learned
started with
behavior.
her, Clive Davis.
Clive, I don't feel he's innocent.
Clive Davis,
in my
one of the
opinion,
main
allegedly.
ones. Clive.
Because Clive Davis used to abuse Diddy, correct?
Correct.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And you see right now when they trying to ask him about Diddy, he's like, huh? Playing like he got no memory, huh? Who? What's his name? Huh? But he was right there in the rooms with my friend who was underage. Him, Harvey, Pierre. I'm coming for you too, Harvey. You're not innocent, my boy. My boy, my guy.
She's being very blunt. Gracie says, suffered most trauma made me let my children stay away from. Yeah, I think it's different for everyone, Gracie. I think everyone has their own experience. 𝗍, I think this is something we need to talk about. I am so sorry to hear that. I do think trauma affects the brain detrimentally. Yeah, I choose cats too. Animals in general.
Now, were you seeing Harv Pierre at a lot of the Diddy parties? I see him on video a lot.
Yes,
Was he,
at all of them.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the celebrities that Diddy actually traffics you to. Are you able to give us those names?
The judge just denied the gag order. We could talk again. We could talk again.
Let's go. Lionel B Show exclusive.
Hey, we could talk again, everybody.
How did you feel like knowing that, or dealing with those presidential people? How did that feel?
Isn't it interesting how you guys are upset just hearing about
Hey,
it?
long reach one.
But we actually lived it. So imagine how we feel. And then now we have to defend and prove it to y'all that we went through what we went through when y'all had nothing to do with it. We already lived it. And when we were living it and going through it live, y'all were nowhere around. So it's just interesting that it draws emotion from you guys and you weren't even there and we actually lived it and we have to explain ourselves and beg for y'all to believe us. It's interesting.
Yeah, you guys can't be attacking victims.
It's true, right? A lot of the times victims are not believed. I have seen that working in the mental health field. Definitely. Often traumatized people, though, they can be shut down and suddenly they find their voice and the floodgates open. Case in point right now. Yeah, I do believe it. The subconscious plays a huge factor into this. Look at her brave him, though she must be living somewhat wealthy. Maybe they have her in a hotel. Maybe she doesn't feel like she's safe. Maybe she does have money. I don't know. I also heard when Diddy was a kid, mom used to bring men home to sleep with, and Diddy watched. Interesting, Danielle. I kind of had heard that. 𝗍 says she actually makes me want to go and finally speak my truth and press charges. That's exactly. Everyone has the right to do that and speak your truth. Lo says, I hope she has a lot of protection. All right, let's finish this. This was just a few minutes longer.
Victims, man, like that's not cool.
And a couple of the presidential situations I'm talking about weren't very presidential back then. Some people were businessmen who filed bankruptcy every time they didn't want to pay their employees. Allegedly.
Any presidential people that were kind of the darker skin as well, or were they all pretty light skinned?
It's a few big high-powered attorneys that are representing victims that were at the parties.
Oh, victims right now?
They're representing victims right now when they were at the parties.
Whoa. That's crazy.
That's another video. I have so much to tell you guys, but we got to do it one video at a time because I notice when I try to tell you guys too much, you can't follow and then you think I'm on drugs or whatever. I'm going to let everybody know I smoke weed, which is legal, and I drink lightly champagne or wine, a beer here and there. That's all I do, everybody. That's on my son. Everybody saying I'm a crackhead, I'm on this, I'm on that. I've had shroom chocolate before. And I liked it because it opened my mind up to really dig, thinking about some deeper things, but it didn't make me trip and go rob a bank or nothing like that. But besides that, y'all leave me alone. I'm not on
Wow.
any cocaine, no meth, no lean, no pills, no none of that. Whatever. What's his name? NBA young boy laid out with the pill bottle and all that. Niggas is dying of overdoses. That ain't me, y'all. Just leave me alone on that. You know what I mean? I smoke weed. Leave me alone.
Now, you previously talked about there was a famous baseball player that you had an entanglement with. Did he come from Diddy as well? And do you want to drop his name?
Yeah, an entanglement. And it's interesting because we both, how can I say it? Basically, Jenny from the block, I had your man before you, bitch.
Whoa.
You a J-Lo. J-Lo, and you lucky you left the country, ho. I know what you did to my home girl.
Okay, she has a lot of rage towards Jenny from the block, so I'm very curious about that. Yeah, Haz. Yeah, that's true. I don't think, I mean, I feel like the trauma is like seeping through, right? If it's true. And I think she's finally speaking her truth, allegedly. So I feel that she feels some type of way about it and acts some type of way because of that,
Sticking
right?
that shit up in her.
People
Your
are
ass
finally
going to
listening to
hell.
all the Diddy victims,
J-Lo, I'm
at
coming for
least in
you,
the
ho. Let
court
me see you
system.
anywhere. I don't care. We at the Met Gala, bitch. I'm running up on you. It's on site.
So which dude of J-Lo's did you have? Who was the guy?
I love green eyes. You know my husband has green eyes? My ex-husband, I should say. The one I married. The only one I chose to marry has green eyes. I love green eye guys. And that's not allegedly. I love green eye guys.
So he had, wait a minute. So he had green eyes. He used to be with J-Lo, and he paid for it.
I met him at Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Manhattan on 51st and the West Side Highway initially.
Yeah, Against All Logic says, if it's true, no wonder J-Lo can't seem to settle down for long. Okay, you make a good point. Is that an effect of the trauma that maybe J-Lo has been a victim of? Or maybe not. Maybe she's just as guilty as Diddy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Love the interview. So cool and collected. Exactly. Shout out to Lionel B. I will link his channel in my description. Yes, she's having a PTSD thing.
A lot of people pay with their credit cards. That's why I have so many receipts.
Damn. And this is before like Cash App and
Oh yeah.
Zelle and all that other stuff.
Years and years, and it was none of that available. It was only cash and credit cards, actual documentation. And every time they paid with their credit card, they gave us funny, it was called funny money, monopoly looking money. And what we were to do with it is at the end of the night, we cash it back. This is how scandalous the club is. If a guy ain't got no cash, he come with his credit card, they're going to charge him 15% to get however much he want off his credit card. Then when they give it to the girls, when we turn it in so we can get because we got paychecks. I paid taxes off my money. I didn't just get dollars and all that thrown, like all that's new to me. I was professional with mine. Yeah, so when they would pay with their credit card, they would give us this funny money, and they would charge them like 15-20% to use their credit card to get the money. Then when we had the money, when we wanted to get our paycheck, we had to turn in the money. However much you turn in, they took another 15% from us. And then they had the check cash in place, literally directly across the street, like steps away. That was 24 hours. And then when we took our check over to the check cash in place, who didn't ask us for no ID or nothing. They were cool with the club. You didn't need an ID or nothing, because a lot of the Russian girls that were coming there didn't have no identification.
Not that check's cashing place being called out. Oh no. Let's touch back on the document just for copyright purposes. This is a part of the magazine that is in the lawsuit. 1998, Simmons with Kimora Lee. Oh, 1998, there's DT. Pre-Fergie 𝗏𝗏𝗃 Show, 1998. And then here's another portion of the magazine that she is speaking about so heavily in this video. And here you see the parties, the people, the family. Mermaids Gone Wild, Mary J. Blige, Warner Music Group Chairman, Jay-Z. And this was filed in July before he got arrested and indicted on all these charges. Here we see the magazine again. That's very interesting. While employed by defendant Combs at white parties, witness defendant Combs instruct Thomas and other employees to acquire and transport illicit narcotics. Plaintiff personally witnessed defendant Thomas transport illicit narcotics. Plaintiff personally witnessed defendant Combs engage in sex work. White parties. Plaintiff would be paid in cash, which we just heard. RICO enterprise activities affected interstate commerce, is comprised of associations and persons, including each defendant and other unnamed co-conspirators. That association was structured by various agreements, deals, contracts, and non-contractual relationships between the defendants, by which defendants assumed different roles. As detailed herein, plaintiff worked for defendant Combs for several years. Additionally, plaintiff's then boyfriend, Mr. Gallo, was also employed. We heard that. Okay, let's continue with the video. It is almost over. I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you hit that like button for your girl,
And then
please.
they would charge you another 10%. So they were just taxing everybody.
Everybody getting hit. Damn.
Funny money.
Everybody. By the time you got your money, that $1,000 turned in like 700 and something, but it was all good.
Now, there's been a lot of talk online and all that Jigga Man could possibly be involved. Can you speak to any of that?
Well, what I do know is that there's a trap house in Texas that has been allegedly funded by the Diddler and Jigga. That yellow bee, yes on me, baby, is running. And I heard there's a whole bunch of minors up in there, girls and boys, but they're not fucking the boys, but they are fucking the girls. And somebody need to run up in there. It's in Dallas, Texas. I got the address for y'all if y'all need it. Yeah, I said it.
Oh, she's giving up straight up addresses. J-Lo's a victim under Diddy's control of her and is embarrassed because she has teenage kids. That is probably why she left the country. Trump figured out Diddy was using his name in that picture to lure women in. That's why Diddy is now in trouble. Oh, okay. Yes, Jojo. It is. I appreciate you guys for being here, supporting.
What y'all gonna do? Come kill me? You gonna send me back to heaven faster? So you can go to hell even faster and even more hotter? What you gonna do? Think I'm afraid of death? I'm telling all y'all wrong. Minors, you don't even let them have the chance to develop their mind and be something positive. You teach them that this is the life they're supposed to live, and you fucking the little girls. That's on me, baby. I'm coming for all these niggas with hair just on the back of their neck. Who do that? Just right here. The fuck is that?
Oh my
Come to
gosh.
LA. Come to LA. I got something for you. That's on me, baby.
Did you ever have any interactions with Jay-Z, like physically?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Anthony Gallo ended up booking.
I have my own
Rockaware
opinions about
campaign.
Jay-Z.
I'll tell you a cute story. We're gonna leave it to this story.
Okay, before this is over, I do have my opinions about Jay-Z. I'm gonna do a live, maybe like a short where we can talk about that. Hey, life artist, thanks for being here. Yes, I appreciate you. Turo says, I am proud of her. Yeah, I am too. Whether it's true or not, I'm proud that she feels she is okay to talk about her experience. I can't judge her for that, right?
Maybe one more, but I have so many stories,
Whether it's
but I
true or
don't want
not,
to jamble
we'll leave that up
them,
to the justice system.
And
Do
then
you
it's
believe in
too
the
much
justice
for
system?
people to
That's
keep
another
up with.
conversation.
So Anthony Gallo ends up booking the Rockaware campaign. Now that hasn't been scrubbed. You can find that. And we had went to the, release party for it. It was at a lounge. And this is cute. Jay, what up, Jay? So when he tried to get with Aaliyah, my homegirl Aaliyah,
Oh, I
right?
love Aaliyah. I was a
And
big
she chose
Aaliyah
up on
fan.
Dame Dash.
Big.
Then he approached me. I'm dating Anthony Gallo though, right? So Anthony books the Rocawear campaign. So because he books the Rocawear campaign, we go to the celebration for the, the release, the, whatever they call it, the launch party. And we walk in and there's a bar. It's like a long bar. It's a lounge. And literally when we walked in, Jay-Z was like at that end of the bar, but in the entrance is a bar. The bar starts right here and it goes down. So you can clearly see that Jay is at that end of the bar, right? So we're walking in, everybody's shaking Anthony's hand, like, oh, good campaign, it looks nice, whatever. And then we were at the end of the bar, and I was like, we always pre-gamed at our apartment, you know what I mean? So, and then every time we went to these events, it was always, open bar, like, it was free. Like, so we came in a little tipsy. So anyway, he was like, Anthony said, I need to use the bathroom, I need to go pee. And I was like, all right. He was like, yeah, I see Jay-Z down there. If I come back from the bathroom and you're down there talking to him, it's going to be problems when we get home. And I was like, I would never disrespect you, but at this time we fans, you know what I mean? So he's talking to me like on some real shit, like that's the real Jay-Z, because I hadn't met him. I didn't get to go to the Rocawear shoot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's the real Jay-Z right there type shit, So he was like, I have to pee, then I'll take us around and mingle you so you can network. But if I come back from the bathroom and you down there talking to him without me, we leave and it's going to be a wrap. So I was like, all right, I got you. So he went to the bathroom and I was just standing there. Tell me why when he came to the bathroom, who was standing right next to me? Jay-Z left his position at the bar and came and stood and was all in my face like this. And when Anthony came from the bathroom, Jay-Z was standing right there and he knew I didn't move one step and he saw that Jay-Z came to me.
So tell us more about Janice Combs and some of the things you actually seen her witness her do.
Janice likes minors, allegedly.
Okay, we saw Jay-Z and Beyonce shut down Jaguar, right? And they didn't pursue any legal charges against her.
Janice knows about everything that's going on.
Now, will Jay-Z pursue Audrea?
They're hiding money in other countries. I know where the countries are, and my investigators are on to you guys. It's a wrap. There's pretty much nothing you guys can do. I know about all the people globally.
She said my investigators. So she's looking for a new attorney, a highly known one. And she has investigators.
That y'all been going around to the third world countries with people with no voices and promising to bring them back to America, only for them to be human punching bags. Oh, someone has bodies all around the world. They're a global threat. Allegedly. But Janice, you the worst one.
Oof.
You created it. You've supported it. You've held the secrets. You had the nerve to take all the kids and go in there and go visit and, all of that. Yeah, but she likes allegedly to have threesomes with her son. My friend has had 2 kids for them that we're trying to figure out where the babies are. She likes to drink breast milk, allegedly.
Oh,
Wait a minute. Janice likes to drink breast milk?
She believes it makes you younger.
Damn.
Like how baby
breast milk? Not the babies missing their food.
These need those nutrients to, develop. What? Those same nutrients she believes, rejuvenate you or whatever, allegedly. She believes that allegedly.
Have any interactions with Jennifer Lopez at all, or did you just kind of see her in passing?
Gracie.
She would be at the club. She was at the parties. We ain't never chopped it up. I chopped it up with Kim Porter, though. I had a fight with Superhead, Corinne Steffens.
Oh, wow.
That's another day. That's another, I can't talk. I got to give that to y'all on the next one.
Okay.
Because it's too long. We got to stick to when we're talking about the topic. I have so many stories. We have 2 years to 3 years worth of stories, you guys. And I'm going to give you guys everything, the truth.
Before Diddy actually trafficked you out to these other celebrities, did you have a intimate relationship with Diddy as well?
Multiple times.
Was he
Ooh.
into like really weird, freaky, crazy stuff, or?
Animals. Exotic animals, allegedly. Even fish.
Fish?
Freaky ass niggas.
What?
Imagine spending thousands of dollars to fly an exotic fish.
Animals, bestiality, and fish?
Allegedly. Saving Nemo around this bitch. Hide your wives, hide your kids, hide Nemo.
Hide 𝗏𝗏. Damn.
Look, and the little mermaid around that bitch.
Now, Adria, do you feel like Mary J. Blige is going to be taken down as well?
Yes,
You
because she had sex with my friend Danny Boy at 15 years old. The one that
Ooh.
sang all the hooks on Tupac shit. I ain't mad at you.
Can
All right. What is the vibe? Fish. Fish suck. Oh, I'd rather be Dr. Lynn's product. Huh? Oh, right. To suck? Oh, too weird. Girls intoxicated. I mean, she's being very upfront, right? And blunt. So, what do we take from that? I don't know. Let me pull up the last bit of the document. I'm just going to go through some of these pages. We read the allegations. I see some more pictures. Let's hit those before we end the live. This was filed on July 3rd, 2024. So here's more of the vibe documents right here on the screen. She put all of this in her lawsuit. It's about 100 pages. I just wanted to read the allegations, show the pictures. Oh, that's her boyfriend, right? In the picture right here next to the Ciroc bottle. Ew, Ciroc's gross, in my opinion. Okay, so Sean John campaign, childhood photos of defendant Combs used to humanize him in the furtherance of conspiracy. So these are childhood pictures. Multiple covers of defendant Combs for Defendant's Vibe magazine. There's another picture of the Vibe magazine. We see more. 2-page centerfold poster of defendant Combs, still the champion. Defendant Combs with Jennifer Lopez on world tour. Yeah, I really want to hear from J-Lo or her attorneys, but I'm sure they're probably not going to say anything until they have to. Or not. She's not speaking out, though, and defending herself. I don't know, are you guilty? What do you think? What do you guys think? So more pictures from the magazine. '18 pages. Career date, defendant Combs appeared in 18 pages. All right, I think those are all the pictures in the lawsuit. The rest is just, you know, the charges. RICO. Let me just make sure we didn't miss. Third cause of action, SA. Fourth, SA again. Gender abuse. Premises liability for sexual assault. That's another thing he's being sued for. Trafficking. All right, I think we got through this. There's 11. Oh. I'm trying to count how many charges are listed in here, and there's over 25. 25 in her lawsuit. 29. Okay, I want to get to the rest of the lawsuit where there's pictures. And I'm going through them pretty fast, but I'm trying to just get to this picture. Upon belief, defendants were also in the business of promoting money for sex, as seen in the classified section of defendant's Vibe magazine. This is the classified November 2006. Oh, they put her on here. Oh my gosh, that's very interesting. I had not seen these pictures. I'm trying to see where she is. I don't see her on here. Must be blind or something. Oh, entertainment. I don't see where she is on here, but she is on here. Maybe because it's too small. Upon information and belief due to the facts that came to their attention through complaint filed by 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 and others accusing defendant of sex trafficking, defendants knew to a certainty that he was engaged in sex trafficking. All right. I think we've reached the end of this document. 32, let me get it right. 33 charges in this lawsuit from Audrea on 7/3. So there you have it. There was a rumor about a actor a long time ago who did that. Oh, I thought they were an actor. Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, someone said, what a world. I know. Anyways, we have now gone through Audrea's lawsuit and watched the recent interviews. So let me know what you think. Make sure you hit the like button. We will be covering some of these older complaints. I know I've covered most of them. I think I'm missing only 1 or 2 of the Diddy complaints filed overall. So those will be deep dives that I will be doing maybe later this week. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Yes, I heard Gracie. I miss my bun. Yeah, I hadn't read this lawsuit. So I didn't know where she was in that magazine, but she's there. It's in her lawsuit. We reviewed it together as a little family here. Certainly eye-opening. I think I'm scared between Diddy and Wade. Right? Yes, Marcus, we're still on. That was wow, Melly. Yeah, it was interesting. There's a lot going on. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting your girl. Make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe. I'm going to do some members live this week. Like I said, I have a couple guests coming up, other creators, and there's a lot more cases that I'm going to be covering that aren't well known. But, you know, YouTube is wild. I feel like it's not a venting night. We can talk about it later, but I might do a little short later. So thank you, Lo. I appreciate you for being here. And I appreciate you, all of you guys, for being here. My lovely mods, all the viewers, all the replayers. Please make sure to subscribe. We're almost to 1K. I know, help your girl out. For reals, I'm excited. Very excited. So I appreciate all the support. Thanks, Sam, for being here. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you come back and watch. I try to go live almost every day. So I hope to see you guys here on the next live, and I appreciate all the support. Bye, guys.